Greetings and beyond the new, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeremy Wormy, and I'm back with yet another video. And last week, Ironheart decided to grace our wonderful screens like the fart in the wind that it truly is. And audiences have been letting their voice be heard with their displeasure of this actual show. When you come over here to Rotten Tomatoes, as of right now, you can see that it is sitting at a 57% over on all audiences scores. And when we go over to the critics, yes, all critics are rating it at a 74%. But when you go to top critics, it's solely sitting at a 56% as of the time of recording this. Even when you go over to sites like IMDb, you can also see that audiences aren't enjoying this show and has it currently sitting at a 3.6 out of 10 stars. Even over on Metacritic, you're seeing the exact same thing with user score sitting at 2.3. So it's pretty safe to assume that this show is 100% disliked by audiences. But since this is a show that stars a black female character as its main lead, that means the Access Media must now come out here and decry everybody who dislikes said show as being nothing more than a racist. That's racist! Ironheart review bombing confirms what online trolls are really about. Now we have the Black Panther universe series spotlighting a black female character who originated in the comics, and she wasn't really liked there either, but hey, we're not actually going to delve into that fact. And guess what? They're review bombing that too. Why? Because they just don't like seeing anyone who isn't a white male fronting anything and everything having to do with the Marvel Studios MCU. Or maybe she's just an unlikable character, because remind you, I watched all 3 of these episodes, and she is the most atrocious character I've seen yet to date within the Marvel TV shows. I'm still sitting here questioning if it's actually the worst show put out by the MCU, considering shows like Agatha, Echo, and Ironheart all exist, but it is up there in that massive running right now. As if we need further proof that we're not exactly dealing with the best and brightest here. I mean, that's how I honestly feel about when it comes to you. They were too stupid to realize that giving Ironheart a 32% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes when the series hasn't been made available to viewers only showed them to be as blatantly racist as we've known them to be. And this was coming off the sad, pathetic campaign they waged to jack up the number of dislikes for the official teaser, one that garnered over 7 million views since its debut. Oh yes, try to say every single time somebody comes out here and downvotes something, that's just a review bomb. Ignore whenever somebody might review bomb something in a positive direction. It's only ever when it's in the negative direction, guys. But hey, it's not just that. We also have Ironheart review bombing proves some comic book fans still can't handle women of color in the spotlight. I mean, we have tons of Japanese female characters in the spotlight throughout all of anime and manga, but hey, yeah, we're just gonna say that that doesn't exist and that actually goes against our narrative right now. MAGA trolls are attacking Disney's Ironheart, but here's how Black Internet is fighting back. Oh no! Well, they're not really fighting back that strong, considering it's still one of the worst shows put out by Disney as of right now. And last but certainly not least, we also have Let's Call the Ironheart Hate what it really is. Ironheart finally made its Disney Plus debut on June 24th, 2025. However, hours before the series dropped a single episode, somehow the Rotten Tomatoes audience rating was in the mid-30s. How can people rate series they haven't watched? Trailers. Well, Ironheart was the target of review bombing. A similar situation happened with the other female-led projects such as 2016's Ghostbusters, Captain Marvel, She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Do we really need to discuss why all those things were hated by the audiences? It also seems to happen repeatedly with films and television shows led by women of color, such as The Acolyte or the remakes of The Little Mermaid and Snow White, all of which were atrocious shows, but you guys never want to actually admit were atrocious shows. These titles are typically the target of a year-long hate campaign, where people seemingly have no interest in watching them make their sole mission to keep posting and commenting about them, saying they won't. Oh yes, because if you have anything negative to say ever about a show, you're supposed to keep quiet and shut up, because only the positive comments are ever allowed to actually go out there. And remind you, all these Access Media sites will always tell you just how much they hate things like Stellar Blade. They often like to use the phrase woke as a criticism, which has no meaning except as a blanket term to cover up racist and sexist beliefs. And yet you guys always like to come out here and say racist over and over again, which has the exact same standing. Multiple comment sections on social media for Ironheart related posts needed to be shut down due to a flood of racist, sexist, and outright hostile comments. Or was it just the internet being the internet? But let's tackle their argument head on, shall we? This isn't about racism. This is about an outright atrocious show. For instance, out the gate, they already sit down and have you fundamentally understand Riri's motivations. It's solely to be iconic and the greatest person that ever lived.
Just to let you know, your girl finna be bigger than Jobs.
Right.
Bigger than Gates.
Right.
Bigger than Pym.
Right.
Bigger than Stark.
Yeah.
Combined.
Simultaneously, she takes a massive shot at Iron Man, saying,
Do you think Tony Stark would be Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire?
and that line solely exists to downplay what Tony Stark actually achieved. Remember, in the first Iron Man movie, Tony Stark was kidnapped by terrorists and was forced to make the Mark I and an arc reactor in captivity in a cave. He had no access to that billions of dollars she said he had, but hey, we're just gonna say he's super successful because he had millions of dollars. Simultaneously, Riri is an awful person. She freely gets involved with the gang solely so that she can make money to become iconic, and outright kills a man and assists with the covering up of another murder. And if we actually want to delve into how she's treating Obadiah Stane's son, she's solely setting him up to become the villain, and the show is outright telling you all of her decisions just far with Obadiah Stane's son is actually the morally justified decision, even though she's put him on the path to become the villain. Yes, he was pathetic before she came into his life, but let's not mince words here. Riri will be the reason that he becomes the overall villain and the potential ironmonger for this show.
The truth is, Dad died trying to kill Tony Stark. And I've spent my whole life trying to be nothing like him. He went full supervillain. In a suit a lot like yours. And then you come knocking on my door with that same iron energy. It's a non-starter, Riri. I cannot be a party to whatever you're up to.
We're friends, right? Implement your upgrades, but promise me this won't blow back on me.
I swear.
See what you're made of.
We are constantly told by the Access media and everybody like them that Riri is going to be this renounding hero, that she's going to step up and inherit Tony Stark's actual position. But the problem is, thus far within these first official episodes, we have not seen 1 ounce of actual heroism, and all we have seen is a full-fledged narcissist do actual evil things, ranging from corporate espionage to, again, murder. There's nothing likable about Riri. There's nothing likable about this show. And if you dislike that show, that doesn't mean you're a racist. It just means you have common sense. And that's what the Access media is without right now. All they are doing is the exact same tactics that they've been doing since 2015, 2016. We have gone for 1 full decade of them consistently using the exact same defenses every single time audiences come out here to say they dislike something, and it's not working. It's driving people further and further away, and nobody's even listening to them anymore. But hey, that's just my take on all this. But let me get your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.